Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nate and today it is time for my October TBR. Have I posted any videos since my September TBR? I have not, no. In October I've decided that I'm actually going to try scheduling when I'm going to film and when I'm going to edit and see if that helps and not just like go on a whim, because that hasn't been working. I've been trying to just go on a whim for the last however many months. Hasn't been working. So I'm going to try and schedule my October. Yeah, and we'll see if that works. I'm hoping it does because I do genuinely want to do videos. But that aside, it is time for October's TBR, which I'm very excited about. I am doing a couple of different readathons in October, which I will talk about. But first of all, I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit about what I did read in September and how I did on with my September TBR that my TBR board game picked. First of all though, do you like my little spooky decorations? I finally got these little things from Tiger. I saw them last year and I didn't buy them and I've been thinking about it since. So yeah, they are just like hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil skeletons. And I love them. I do also have this from Tiger. It's got iced coffee in it at the moment, but look at this. This was £2 and it's like a really nice solid glass. So if you have a Tiger near you, I recommend them. Anyway, September TBR. September TBR was interesting. So first of all, with the books that I do not own, there was 4 of them, I believe. We have Poirot Investigates by Agatha Christie, which I did read. I also then went on to read The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, which was so far my favourite of the Poirot ones that I've read. So good. I plan on buying a physical copy so I can actually reread it. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Book 2 was Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, which I did read. And then we have 23 and a Half Lies by James Patterson. This is like a collection of 3 different stories. And I did read the first one and I haven't made my mind up whether I'm going to continue or not. The first one was fine. I don't know if I'm that bothered about it. But yeah, I have at least read the first one in that book series. And then we have Priory of the Orange Tree, which I started but did not finish. So yeah, already have not successful on my September TBR, but let's get into the books that I did own. This is the stack of books that I did own, and Bad Graces I did read, Divergent I did read, Broken Homes I did read, and then A Curse of Blood and Wolves I started, Divine Rivals I've started, Lost in a Book I've started, Icebreaker I've started, and Clockwork Angel I've started. So that's the first chunk of books. And then I did also have these 4 books, The Ask the Answer didn't start, Zombie, Gladiator didn't start, and then Wind and Sailor Moon Volume 2 did not start. So I was not successful with my TBR. I don't know why I start so many books, because like Divine Rivals I was absolutely loving. I have 80 pages left, and then I sat down and just picked up a different book. I don't know why. I don't know why I do that to myself. But yeah, in October I'm actually going to try and finish the books that I pick, as well as some of these ones as well, because I do want to finish them. All of that to say, I was unsuccessful with my September TBR, which means I will be taking a punishment. For my punishment, I will be picking a Reader Unhaul book from my little standalone jar last month, because I also have to take a punishment. I picked Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, which I started, and so I'm going to keep and carry on with. So let's pick a book that I have to read or unhaul in the month of October. And again, if I start it and do think I like it and continue it, even if I don't finish it, I will keep it. So let's go with this one, which is, Gone Girl. Let me go grab it. So Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I've owned this book for over 4 years. I've never watched the movie, but I do know the big plot twist that happens in this book, which I'm not terribly bothered about going into it, because it does mean I think I'm gonna look out for, I guess, signs of those things while reading the first bit. I've heard very good things about this book, and it's one that I think works with October. A mystery thriller is more of some of the stuff that I was gonna go and try and get for my TBR game this month. So yeah, this will be an added bonus book on that I will be reading. I'm sure I'll be able to find an audiobook for this, but yeah, I don't think it will take me too long. It is a chunky book at like 475 pages, but I do find mystery thrillers are quite easy to read. So this will be the first book that I will hopefully be reading in October, and hopefully be finishing and reading and not just starting. In October, I'm going to be hopefully participating in 2 different TBRs. The first one is TBR Harvest. So this is from Leandra, the TBR Zero. I will leave all of her information down below. She is lovely. Her channel is wonderful. Go and check her out. She has basically made 3 different kind of versions of this game, which 1, I thought was really cool, and 2, I thought was really creative. They've come up with not just 1 readathon, but kind of like 3 different readathons. So this is the one that I will be doing. This is the Escape the Corn Maze. You start here in the corn, and then you have to travel out and around and escape the corn maze. I don't think we do corn mazes in the UK. I've never done one, I've never seen one, but I have seen them in like American TV shows, so I have a rough idea of what happens, what it is. But yeah, I'm going to be playing this in October, but I'm not going to be picking a TBR for it, because I have set aside like 4 days where I'm hopefully going to binge it. I have enough time after those 4 days in case I don't manage to finish it in those 4 days, but the goal is to try and do a little reading vlog binging this in like a 4-day plan, and then hopefully that video is scheduled in for like the last week in October, so that's when I'm hoping to finish it by and post it. So yeah, I won't be picking a TBR, as this This could be books that I pick from my TBR, or it could be added books. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I am going, there's like an extra challenge you can do where you have to go and collect all these little black cats, which I am intending to do. So yeah, that is what I'll be doing for this game. And then the other readathon I'm planning on participating in is Becca's Spookoplathon. This is from Becca and the books. Again, I will leave all her information down below. For this game though, I'm actually going to be playing this. I think last year I played it separately to my game as like an addition. This time though, I'm going to be playing it with my game. So I'm going to be playing both games at the exact same time, doing one roll that will get me like around the same board at the same amount of time, since they're both kind of based on Monopoly boards. I'll be trying to get one book from the 2 prompts from both my game and Becca's game. If I roll doubles, I will have to split the prompts and pick 2 different books. I'm doing that way because in Becca's game, usually you would pick a certain amount of rolls you would do. So say you wanted to do 5, and then if you roll doubles, you would have to add a roll and do 6. So I don't do that with my game, since I just have to make it round like once. So I will instead be splitting the prompts and having to pick 2 books. It works out the same in that you would have to pick more books than you would necessarily need. That's the plan. Hopefully that made sense. If not, it hopefully will make sense when I start playing it. I'm going to just be filming it on my phone and doing it like as I go. So I apologize if the filming's not as good. Since I kind of want to move in and out on different boards, I thought like doing it handheld would be easier. The only other caveat I will say quickly before I start is if I land on a purple, I will be using a spinner wheel to pick the specific like type of book I will be reading, but I will then pick my own of that type, just so then I can try and match it to the prompt from Becca's. I hope all of that makes sense. Without further ado, because I have rambled on quite a bit, let's get on with the first roll for October's TBR game. So I've just popped Becca's in the middle of mine. For Becca's TBR-a-thon, I'm going to be using this little skull candle, and then for my one, I'm going to be using a pumpkin candle. And yeah, let's give it a first go and see what we get. 5 and a 6, that is lovely. So that will take us all the way up to this one. Oh God. So that's a blue and a green from mine. And then we'll start with Becca's, which will also take us to this one, which is Leatherface. The prompts I have to try and fit are a female main character, a KU book, and then I cannot remember Leatherface, so we'll figure that out in a minute. So for the first roll, I ended up on a spot that I already had 2 prompts, and then I have to add in the Leatherface prompt. So, which the prompt for Leatherface is, don't let the Sawyer family eat you. Read a book that features family as a main cast, a central theme, or a core part of the plot. This does kind of work out quite nicely though, because I have my mum's Kindle for the month of October. She has lent it to me so that I can see if I like it, see if I like reading on it. And my mum has KU, I don't, so I can actually read something from Kindle Unlimited. So give me a second while I have a quick look as something that has a female main character, but that also has a family as a center. Okay, so that took me quite a while. Actually, I had to do a little bit of searching, but I think I'm going to be going with A Serpent in the Wings of Night. So the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. It has a female main character. It's on KU, and I think it has family. It's about a girl who is the human adopted daughter to a king, vampire king. I think she does some kind of competition against 3 vampire houses. So houses for me in a theory is that there's going to be families in these houses. I think there's going to be some kind of like family element to it. Our main character has a family. She's adopted into a vampire family, or just a vampire dad, still a family. And then, yeah, I think that works. I know very little about it. I know it's very popular in the romantasy sphere. I actually think my mum has read it, and I think she did quite enjoy it. Or if she's not read this one, she's read Door of No Worlds. But yeah, I've heard very, very good things about the series in general, and so I'm looking forward to it. I will say trials in like fantasy books, not my favorite trope, which I think this is what this is going to have. It's some kind of competition. So we'll see if I like it or not. It's on KU, and it is a female main character, and it works for Leatherface. So that is going to be the first book for October's TBR, because I do actually really want to read a KU book so I can get a full experience of if I enjoy reading on a Kindle. I have like a Google tablet, which is like double the size of a Kindle, and I don't mind reading on it, but it's not my favorite. But I've heard so many people love reading on their Kindles and they find it easier to read than like physical books. So I thought I would give it a try, and then if I like it, I might get a Kindle for Christmas. That was a nice big first roll. So let's jump into roll 2 for October. A 4, which 1, 2, 3, 4. That is Borrow Box. And then Becca's Spookoplathon Bonfire, which I also do not remember what it is, so I'll look it up. So I ended up on Borrowbox and Bonfire. Bonfire is to read a book you are either thinking of unhauling, or a book you're not sure about if you're going to like or not. So I'm going to go for the kind of second idea for this, because that works so much better with Borrowbox. Borrowbox is my library app. Oh, okay, I think I'm going to go with The Silent House by Neil Patterson. So yeah, The Silent House by Neil Patterson, because I actually own this book. I've owned it for a while now, and so like it's one that I'm not sure I'm going to really love, love. It is a mystery thriller, which I also think works really nicely for spooky season. So it's about the Hunter family. They are deaf, and so they do not hear in the middle of night when a terrible crime happens. Instead, they wake up and to the murder of their daughter. A police officer, Paige Nord, is called to the scene to interpret for the witnesses, and Paige begins to sense that they are hiding something. So one by one, people from Paige's community start to fall under suspicion, but who would kill a little girl? Was it the intruder, or was the murder closer to home? I'm always not sure if I'm going to love police mystery thriller books. They can either be quite hits or misses. So yeah, I think I'm going to put this one on. I've reserved the audiobook, so I now have the audiobook, so there's no excuse not to read this. That is the second book for the TBR. So on to roll number 3. We have another 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a purple. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, which is bone. So I'm just going to spin my wheel and we're just going to get the type of book I'm going to pick. So I'm just going to be lazy as well and just hold it up. It is a standalone. So a standalone that is bone colored. Let me just double check that I'm interpreting that prompt correctly. A book with a bone colored cover can be anywhere from white to light brown, like a creamy color. And that is a standalone. Let me have a think about that. Okay, so for this book, I'm going to be putting on The Magic of Reality by Richard Dawkins. This is a non-fiction, so technically a standalone. And I have started this. I'm not sure how far I am because I'm using my Spotify Premium to listen to the audiobook. Because I will be honest, if I had tried to read this, it would be going in one ear, out the other. It kind of still is, but at least I feel like I'm retaining some of the information. This is basically a science book talking about like the magic of reality. Yeah, science. So far, it has kind of spoken some things about like atoms and the universe and evolution and things like that, so it's all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it is this kind of like yellowy color. It's got different patches, so I think it works well for like a bone color. It is also one of those books I think that was on my 12 books to self-destruct this year, which I have not read many of those books, so I wanted to try and at least get one of them on, so this is the one that I was putting on for that. I lose track of rolls so quickly, but I think this is the 4th roll now. I'm gonna move this over slightly, but let's do the 4th roll. A 5 and a 6 again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you're new to my game, this little space basically takes me back here. So that means I'm now back a bit on the board. Yeah, which is another purple, so I'll do another spin. Let's go around. So it will basically take me here, which is Dice Roll Roulette. Dice Roll Roulette is something to do with page counts, so I will check that out. Okay, for my Dice Roll Roulette, I need to do 2 dice rolls. Well, roll 2 die. Damn it, that's 10. Let me look at how many pages that is. Okay, so I feel like this game just hates me. So as I've mentioned before, I don't really land on my corner spaces that much, but they are basically portal spaces that teleport me around the space. And that one sends me back to the first portal space. So yay. And then I landed on, for the Specker Spookopolyphon Dice Roll Roulette, you roll 2 die, and then you make up a number. This is kind of what the chart looks like. So I got 10, which means I have to read a book between 475 and 524. And then since I'm using my purple and just kind of going around to the next one, it has to be part of a series. So let me have a look and see what I can find. I'm right in front of my series shelf, so this will be a nice, easy one to do. How many pages in the next Percy Jackson and the Olympians? 511? I think that works. Yes, 511. This is The Son of Neptune. I'm really enjoying this series. Actually, I really enjoyed the first one. It's kind of shifted from like first person perspective to third person perspective, which I find first person easier to read, but I prefer reading in third person. And then also had like multiple different people we were getting POVs from. Look, sorry, what is this? The person that I bought it from, I did buy these secondhand on Vinted. Dog-eared it, though. A crime. Oh my god, there's 2 dog ears. Anyway, yeah, there is multiple different POVs that we are getting in these as well, which I really like. So it's kind of, I really enjoy that Rick Riordan has kind of changed up how he's doing these books from like Percy Jackson. The latest Percy Jackson book also did come out in September, which I bought because I've got the Waterstones exclusive sprayed edition, but I'm nowhere near it. I'm nowhere near it. I want to read it stuff in publication order. So this is the next one that I need to read. It is a little chunky, but they are middle grades, and so I do find them super easy to read, and I'm very excited to carry on with this series. On to roll number 5. Our pieces are no longer in sync now, but that's fine. So we have 9, which will take me another purple, okay, and then 9 will be here, won't it? Yes, highest rated. So for my roll, I got highest rated, and also another purple. Now, I'm going to cheat on my purple slightly. Instead of going with my manga, which is next, I'm going to skip and go to ebook, simply because I don't have my manga like listed anywhere, and I have way too many to like sit and go through and figure out what the highest rated would be. But my eBay, I have on Goodreads on like a shelf. So again, I'll record it and put it in here. So I have a ebook TBR, which has 67 books on it, and we are going to sort by average rating. Okay, with a 4.47, actually, there are two. There is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson and Those Who Dwell in Darkness. Now, okay, I think I'm going to go with Yumi and the Nightmare Painter simply because it has 64,000 reviews, whereas Those Who Dwell in Darkness has 968. So, like, the more reviews, I think, like, not that it makes it more legitimate of a rating, but obviously is more chance for the rating to be knocked down. This is one of Brandon Sanderson's secret projects, and I did back the Kickstarter, but simply for the audiobook and ebook rewards, because the shipping to the UK was insane, and I at that point had never read anything by Brandon Sanderson. I've still only read one thing actually, so I didn't want to like put a load of money into stuff that I had no idea if I was gonna like. But I do have the ebook and the audiobook for Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. It is a book about, it's set in a Cosmere, and I'm not that bothered about someone that's like wanting to read the Cosmere books necessarily in order, because like I'm probably not going to pick up on Easter eggs anyway if I did read them in order, so I'm not bothered about that. It is told by Hoyd. Don't know what that means. When two people from incredibly different worlds must compromise and work together to save their worlds from ruin. Yumi comes from a land of gardens, meditation and spirits, while Painter lives in a world of darkness, technology and nightmares. When their lives suddenly become intertwined in strange ways, can they put aside their differences and work together to uncover the mysteries of their situation and save each other's communities from certain disaster? So that'll be the next book on the TBR. And yeah, I do have the audiobook for it as well, which is quite nice. So let's go on to, I don't even remember, I think this is roll 6. Okay, on to the next roll. A 5, which is a blue prompt. So the prompt is a random shelf. Okay, and then it was 5, wasn't it? Yeah. TBR Vet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to randomize the bookcases, and then I'm going to randomize the shelf in those bookcases, and then I will let myself choose on that bookshelf, and I'll pick one that has probably been on there the longest. So I have 4 bookcases, and I think all of them have about 6 shelves. So let's find out. Pick a random number between 1 and 4.
The answer is 3.
3, so that is going to be my white one. Let's take you over there, actually. Let's go. It's a bit of a mess back here, but I have actually recently done a bookshelf reorganization, which is not up yet. It will be up at some point in the month. So I have my books now separated into kind of genres. So I think I'm going to do the, should I do the genre? No, let's do the shelf. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kind of shelves. Yeah, let's do 8. Pick a random number between 1 and 8.
It's 5.
5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That works out nicely because I don't have to move my camera. So this is basically my like, what do you call it? Fantasy overflow shelf. This is where more fantasies that couldn't fit on my series are. So some of these are books in series, but some of them are just random for standalone fantasies. So I'm going to pick one that I've had for ages, which is actually quite a few of them. I might go for, I think I'm going to go for this book. This is a book that I've owned for over 5 years. It came to where I live now with me. It has got sun damage. I have no idea why I bought it. Okay, it was £1.50, so it's obviously from a charity shop. Let's go back to my normal Fulham location to talk about this book. So we have Abandon by Meg Cabot. This is a book. Let's have a look. Pierce knows what it's like to die. Late last year, she flatlined following an accident. During that time, Pierce saw a dark world and met a mysterious, irresistible boy. Now the boy, John Hayden, has turned up at her school. Every time she sees him, Pierce finds herself in terrible danger, yet she's still drawn to him. John wants to take her back to the place she fears the most, the underworld. The question is why? Okay, this is by the author of the Princess Diaries. Did not know that. It's from 2011, and I'm guessing it's a YA, and I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like a very classic 2000s YA kind of style book. But yeah, I've owned it for ages, so I might as well give it a go and see what I think about it. I have no idea if it's part of a series. I have no idea what. I don't know what people think about it. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone talk about it. So yeah, completely random. When would I have gone to this book if not for this little random shelf prompt? That's the fun of doing that random shelf thing. It gets me to pick one. And it is a TBR vet. I've owned it for probably a decade. Let's be honest. Look at that damage. My TBR is looking hella random this month, and I am okay with that. So let's go on to the next roll. Well, I haven't actually gotten any doubles, so that's at least nice. 6. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, maybe I would have preferred doubles. Okay, where am I here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A Becca rec. Okay, a purple Becca rec. So it's going to be a manga. I don't know if Becca reads manga, so maybe I'll go on to a series. We'll figure it out. Okay, it's been about 5 years, but I basically went on to Becca's Goodreads and was scrolling through them, seeing what she's read. Becca does read some manga, but none that I own or that I'm, that are on KU. I don't want to buy new manga for this, so instead I'm going to bend the purple slightly, which usually for manga I just pick manga, but I'm going to pick graphic novel instead. And for that, I'm going to go with Saga. This is volume 1. Becca gave this a 5 stars. So this book is not mine, it's my older sister's, and she really likes this as well. I don't know much about it. I know it's about, I think, these two people that are from different clans or races, and they they get together and have a baby, and it's something sciencey. All I know. This is one as well I know in general loads of people love, so I'm quite happy to actually put it on my TBR and give it a read. But yeah, the art for this is really pretty, so I'm looking forward to reading it and seeing what it's like and seeing why loads of people love it, because loads of people do really like this series. That took me an age to find, so that's going on the TBR. We are back for the second time in a row. Let's keep going with the TBR and seeing where we end up. I've lost count, but on to the next roll. Okay, roll, I don't know, 7 maybe? Okay, a 9 again. Damn it, that's taking me to purple again. Okay. And that will take me up here to bone. Again, I'm getting deja vu. We are back. We've been here before. Okay, so weirdly enough, I'm back on the same spots that I have been, like, not that long ago. But it's to pick a standalone that is bone coloured. Was it standalone last time or series? It was standalone last time. So yeah, carrying on with the purple. Obviously, I did ebook, so then went back to do manga, and now I'm going back around to do standalone. It makes sense to me. And I'm kind of cheating for this one in that I've already started this book, and that is The Book Thief. I put this on my TBR like 2 months ago as a reader unhaul, and I started it, and so I was going to intend to complete it, so I didn't want to unhaul it, and I have not picked it up since. So this month it's going on the TBR to try and finish it. Again, it's pretty much the same colour as the last book that I picked for this, that kind of weird yellowy colour, like old parchment, and so kind of bony, but yeah. This is a book set in World War II about a young girl who can talk to death, reads books. I didn't get very far, but I enjoyed what I read of it. But yeah, it's narrated by the character of Death himself, and I'm really interested to see what happens in it. I know it's a lot of people's favourite, so yes, this will also be going on. I do have the ebook for the audiobook for this one because it is chunky. This will be added to the TBR because I'd like to finish it. So let's add it to the month and see if we can. Okay, so I think we're on 8 now. So roll 8. Roll, I think, number 8. Is a 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is a black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A mood read. Okay, so a mood read. This might not work. Let's have a look. Rick Riordan mood read. So for black, I got Rick Riordan, and then I did also get mood read, which I guess technically don't work together since this is specifically telling me the book to read. However, I don't really consider myself a mood reader, but also if I am, I'm usually in the mood to read some kind of fantasy. So I'm just going to put the next book on the Heroes of Olympus series on. It is chunky. This is the Mark of Athena. This is going to go on for those 2 ones. Mood read doesn't always work for me because, like I said, I'm not a mood reader. I can make myself be in the mood to read most things. Like, sometimes I'm in the mood to read nothing, but if I start something, I can then usually get in the mood to read it, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is just going to go on for that one. Almost finished. Actually, I could be finished within this next roll if we get a 12, but I would have to pick 2 books, but that's fine. Okay, yeah, let's go on to the next roll. Roll, I think 9, I think 8, I don't know. Let's go. A 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, a red. This could be a dangerous book. Around the board again. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is not the month for this. Okay, around the board again. So let's quickly do Becca's prompt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is my most recent purchase. Okay, at least, okay. So I need to go around the whole board again. I don't know what's happening. I haven't gotten any doubles, so I was like, I'm doing fine. But I'm not. I have to go around the board again. Okay, less safe to say that I don't see this TBR getting completely read, but on the positive, I at least have more books of options that I could read. But my most recent purchase is Trouble in the Cotswolds. I actually grabbed this yesterday from a charity shop, and it is, yeah, Murder and Intrigue in the stunning Cotswolds. I live in the Cotswolds now. I moved here for university, so when I saw this book, I thought, why not give it a go? It is set around Christmas, which is my only slight meh. But it's basically about a Thea. She hopes to spend a quiet Christmas house-sitting for the shepherds in the picturesque Cotswold village of Stanton, but her arrival coincides with the funeral of a local businessman who was electrocuted in his bathtub. So she then plays like amateur sleuth and wants to find out what happens, and then another villager is discovered brutally murdered, and so then it kind of, I think, ends up spiraling from there. No idea what I think of it, no idea what I like it, never heard the author before, but yeah, I was in a charity shop and I saw it and I thought, why not give it a little read? Okay, so let's just keep going. I don't remember the roll. I think we're on 9. Let's keep going. Let's go for a big number that isn't a 12. A 4, okay. Which is a green. So that'll be a nice easy prompt of a sci-fi. And then, what does that say? Community shelf. Okay, yeah, community shelf is actually the prompt, not its chance that is the book. Okay, so for community shelf, I'm just going to pick a blue, which I haven't done yet. So I'm just going to grab the top one, which was primary color on the spine. That was the top one. Sorry, I didn't film it. I thought this was a random book. So primary color on the spine. That is a sci-fi. Okay, for this read, I'm going to be going with Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. So this is the sequel, or kind of like the follow-along to Winter's Orbit. I listened to Winter's Orbit a couple months ago and actually really, really enjoyed it. It has blue on the spine, so there's my primary color on the spine. And yeah, so this is a kind of sequel, but it's not really, but it's set in the same universe. It is about a rich socialite who is caught using his telepathic powers for illegal activities. The military decide to bind his mind to someone who's, I don't even know what that word says, oh my god, coercive powers are strong enough to control him. And I'm guessing it's a standalone romantic space adventure set in the same universe as Winter's Orbit. And Winter's Orbit had a queer relationship, and so yeah, I'm guessing this is also going to have a queer relationship, so I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm probably going to end up listening to some of this on audiobook as well because it is chunky, but I did really enjoy the first book, so I'm looking forward to reading more of Everina Maxwell's works. On to whatever the next roll is. We have an 11. Lovely. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is a green. So a North American author, which is easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is the prompt Jason. I will have to do a quick look at this up. For Jason, you have to read a book that has 13 letters in the title. So give me a minute while I actually now figure out what the hell I'm going to read for that. Okay, so I spent an awful long time now just trying to look for a book. I went down a book thinking, okay, I want to listen to something on Everand. Give me an audiobook, give me something easy to do for the month. And so I just went to start going through Darcy Coates' list without checking if she was an American author. She lives in Australia. It doesn't say anywhere that she's Australian, but I'm going to just guess that she's Australian based on the fact that she lives in Australia. If that is wrong, please do correct me, because I mean, it's too late for this prompt, but I just would like to know in the future. But yeah, I just kind of Googled it, and like, it didn't say anywhere she was American, but it also didn't say she was Australian, but she does live in Australia, so I'm just going to assume she's Australian. For North American author that has 13 words in the title, I then just went through all of my Everand and counted down the words, and it took me freaking ages. But this is the first one that I came across, so I'm just going with it. It's not Halloweeny or spooky in the least, but it is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey, who is an American author. I could have also obviously gone for a Canadian author, or like anywhere, basically anyone from North American, so the countries that are in North America. But America, the USA, is the easiest one, I guess, to go for that. But yeah, I just kind of ended up being like, I just need to go for the first one that I can find. Next roll is an 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is another green. So the prompt is a hardcover, which is a nice easy prompt. And then 6, 7, 8, Pentacle. I think that's a 5-star prediction. Okay, nice easy prompt. So a hardcover that is also a 5-star prediction. I'm going to be putting on Skanda and the Chaos Trials. This is the 3rd book in the Skanda series. I think I rated the first one 5 stars, the second one 4 stars. So this is like potential for me. I don't usually do 5-star predictions. So the only books I would ever really put on for this kind of thing is one in a series where I have rated a book in that series 5 stars. The 4th book in this series comes out in like 10 days, so I want to read this one, grab that one and read it as well. I'm very excited for it, but yeah, it's been a while and I haven't read this book yet. So this is the Lovely as Well Waterstones edition. This is a series, a middle grade series about a young boy that ends up going to a unicorn training riding academy, and they're in a world where like unicorns are not these kind of magical, like beautiful animals. They're also carnivorous, which just grums me out. But yeah, there's like these fighting creatures, and then, you know, there's a overarching big bad that's happening throughout the books, but we are kind of going along with our character as he is growing up throughout the years. So this is going into the 3rd year now. I've really enjoyed this series. It's been a really fun ride, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the 3rd book, and then also hopefully reading the 4th book. Hopefully in October, but if not, maybe in November. We'll see. My stack is getting really big behind me, so let's hope we don't hit any more bad spaces. On to the next row. Is an 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, another green, which gives me a historical setting. And then for Becca's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, a spooky book with a historical setting. I think I know exactly what I'm going to pick for this. Okay, so for historical setting and a spooky book, I'm going to go for a classic. I think it's classified as a horror, and I'm going to be reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I've owned it for ages. It is a classic, and yeah, I really am interested in reading it and seeing what it's like, because it was, I think, the book that kind of created the sci-fi genre, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's supposed to be, like, I don't know if today it will be considered a scary, spooky book, but like, I think historically it was, and I think it still does come under the horror kind of umbrella. So I'm interested to see what it's about. It's obviously about a scientist called Frankenstein who creates a monster, I think out of a desire for companionship, and then ends up like hating his creation and wanting to kill it. I think my sister has read this, and I think she said the main character is very like sullen and like quite depressing in a way, like his like kind of monologues and like self-death. I don't know. It sounds interesting. It's a classic. I want to give it a read. So, and I think October is the perfect month for it. So I will be reading Frankenstein for these 2 prompts. On to the next roll, which could be our last roll. Fingers crossed. Hopefully going for our last roll for the game. Let's get a nice one. Yes, 11. That will take me to the end. So I'm just going to go straight to the end for my game, but I will count 11 for Becca's game. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, a small book, a less than 300 page book. I need to pick a book though that is a fantasy that has a chosen one trope that works lovely. That is a Cassandra Clare, and it also has to be less than 300 pages. That's definitely not going to work. I'm going to have to pick more than one book. Okay, we'll see. So for this last prompt, I am splitting it up, and I'm going to be putting on a few extra books on there, which is maybe stupid, but I'm just going to do it. So I did get the prompt Cassandra Clare specifically, which does work for fantasy, and I'm just going to put, though, back on the Clockwork Angel. I'm halfway through it, and I was enjoying it, and the reason I kind of stopped is I was listening to the audiobook, and it kind of gave me the ick. Like, the audiobook narrator was fine, but there was a specific point in this book where we are in, like, a action-y scene, and the way the author was doing it, the narrator, sorry, really, I didn't enjoy. Like, so I had to stop it because I didn't enjoy it. So I'm going to finish reading this book physically, because I'm going to put this on for the Cassandra Clare prompt. And that would also work for the fantasy prompt, and also kind of for the chosen one. I don't know if it would count for the chosen one prompt, but I think for fantasy and chosen one, I'm going to be putting on Scandal Volume 4, which is going to be over 300 pages, so I'll also have to put on a separate book for that. So I'm adding 3 books on for the last spot, which sounds stupid, but like, I'm probably not going to get all these read anyway, so why not just give myself a wider selection of books to read? And so yeah, I'm going to put on the 4th Scandal book. I'm so excited to get it, and I do really want to read it, so it's one I think I would probably have tried to read anyway, so why not put it on the TBR for these 2 prompts? And then for Becca's book, for a under 300 page prompt, I'm going to be putting on Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This is one I picked up relatively recently. Once you get to like past all of it has group questions, it is 296 pages, so it works out well. But yeah, I picked it up randomly because I picked up a couple of like Christmas thrillers, and I needed like a 3rd one to get the 3 for £6. So yeah, it is about newlyweds who end up moving into a house. When they're in there, they find things that belong to this psychiatrist who vanished years ago without a trace, and there are like videos, I think. So Trisha starts watching these audio transcribes. With each tape, shocking pieces of the puzzle fall into place, and a web of lies slowly unravel. But by the time Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it is too late. I think this will be a really easy binge. I've heard a lot of good things about Frida McFadden as an author. I've never read anything by her, so this will be my first foray into her as an author. And I think for a 300 page book, I think it'll be easy. I think it'll be an easy binge. I also think it's one that I potentially could get on for my TBR harvest, which I'm doing later on in the month. Hopefully, because I have quite a huge selection of books for the month, I'll be able to get all books from my TBR on that video. I've been filming for a long time now, so I feel like I'm out of words. But yeah, so let's do a wrap up. So not including my reader on haul, I have 13 physical books, and I think I have 4 that I don't own. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, the next book in the Skanda series, The Skanda and the Skeleton Curse, Serpent in the Wings of Night. What was the other one that I don't think I own? So 16 altogether, is that right? I have no idea. So I think those 3, but we have Saga Volume 1, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Abandon, Son of Neptune, Richard Dawkins' The Magic of Reality, The Silent House, Clockwork Angel, Never Lie by Frida McFadden, Ocean's Echo, Trouble in the Cotswolds, The Mark of Athena, Book Thief, Skanda 3, and then yeah, I think it was then those other 3 books, which were Skanda 4, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, Serpent in the Wings of Night. I think that's everything. Oh, my Lantus. I cannot remember for the life of me, but I do think that's everything. I know that a load of these I can get audiobooks for, and I do listen to like 3 audiobooks a week at work. There's a possibility that it could all happen, that I could get it all done, but we'll see. That is the TBR for October. If you're participating in either of these readathons or any other readathons, please do let me know. Any books you're looking forward to coming out this month, any spooky books you're particularly reading. I probably will end up listening to some Darcy Coates books and maybe other horror books that are on Everand throughout the month. If you have any recommendations for horror books that are on Everand, please let me know. I'm new to horror and a wimp, so I'm easing myself into the genre, and I do think sometimes listening to them at work is quite nice because I am around other people, like I'm not the only one there. But then I go upstairs to go on my break through the warehouse, which is dark, and I usually go on my break at the only time that I'm there, and so that scares me. But yeah, I do want to read some more spooky books throughout October. Thank you guys so much if you have made it to the end of this video. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I've had to start and stop my cameras while researching things, so yeah, I think it's a long one. I wanted it to be an easy one, but can we just take a moment to be impressed that I didn't get a single double? Unless I did get a double and didn't realise it, but I don't think I got a single double. I just got a shit ton of rolls, so yeah. It was my game that was doing the damage and not Spookopolathon, which is fun. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you again, hopefully in October with some reading vlogs, because I'm bullying myself this month into doing it. I've scheduled it out, we've got the plans, editing day plans, filming day plans, all the plans are there. So hopefully there should be videos in October coming. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you again, hopefully soon. Bye.